Dominica in 2025. This is Dominica in 2025, the major stories which impacted Dominica in the year.
No bill for Jonathan! No bill for Jonathan! No bill for Jonathan! No bill for Jonathan!
Dominica in 2025, protest action broke out as Parliament debated 3 electoral reform bills. However, then acting Police Chief Dbs issued a warning.
Any protest action in Dominica on Wednesday, March 19, 2025 is unlawful.
The U.S. stunned Dominicans and Antiguans with a proclamation to restrict travel to the U.S. for non-visa holders.
At this time, the proclamation itself has not been formally withdrawn or suspended. Discussions are ongoing, and the government continues to engage U.S. authorities with the objective of reversing all restrictions affecting Dominican nationals.
The first ever Trade Union Congress for Dominica in 2025, and the Lighthouse Christian Academy student, Kennelly Barron, created history at the CXC exams.
And she set a national academic record by passing a total of 19 CXC subjects, the highest ever in Dominica.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners through the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jay's Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.
For all your shopping needs at the best prices in Dominica, shop at S-Mart. Shop smart at S-Mart.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
Can you get me some Lotto?
For my favorite
Shop smart at S-Mart.
I got a top-up Flow and digital.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
Sunday to Sunday.
Open on holidays.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
So much fresh fruit and produce.
Good quality service.
Hey.
Unlimited parking. Hey. All the best products at S-Mart. You get the best prices.
Hey.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
Leo flush ukapon lo de overflow. Ha my friend, bakite lulu de body aso. Ela ini bad manners and spade uni etwanje ka visite kayu. So come to Luxurious Luz asu Cornwall Street close to the vet. Telephone 4482410 or 2764289 and they will empty your septic tank for you. Non septic tank c'est pas là mais apon tan qui plein Kodi Fatima espèce ni femme maya kayu. Of course Luxurious Luz provide portable toilets for public activities too. But what is extraordinary about them is that they are health conscious, environmentally friendly. C'est pas qu'on ugly will likini bagaya sous tête li ka jeti bod la mais all their waste is emptied at the Dowasco outlet. Call 82401 2764289. This live unipo number 2 say okay number 1 in the lumber 2 business.
This Christmas, bring home the joy with NBD. Apply for an NBD credit card or personal loan, and you could be one of our lucky winners in a special Christmas shopping spree. Celebrate the season with friends and family. Shop for your holiday favorites and make this Christmas truly magical. Make your season brighter. Visit any NBD branch today. For more information, go to nbddominica.com or call 767-255-2300. Hurry! This festive offer ends January 9th, 2026. Don't miss your chance to bring home the joy. Terms and conditions apply.
Here now is our first presenter, Tirella Alexander.
Search and rescue personnel from Dominica and Martinique reported that the wreckage of a missing 4-seater Cessna 172 aircraft was located. The aircraft departed Douglas Charles Airport at 3:46 p.m. on Sunday, January 26, en route to Martinique. The French civil security helicopter, which was made available in a joint search and rescue, spotted the plane in the mountains about 3 kilometers west of La Plaine. 3 bodies were identified on the crashed site of the plane. The Dominica Air and Seaport Authority stated that it was a sad day for Dominica and its French neighbors of Martinique. Residents of Soufrière were outraged when double murder accused Jonathan Lehrer applied to the High Court for his bail conditions to be adjusted to allow him to travel on medical ground. Lehrer and another U.S. national, Robert Snyder, were jointly charged in 2023 for the murder of eco-resort owners Daniel Langlois and Dominique Marchand in the Soufrière area. Residents of Soufrière protested outside the court, chanting, "No bail for Jonathan."
No bail for Jonathan! No bail for Jonathan!
that business of bail for Jonathan. The community is against that, and the whole community will be in danger if Jonathan will be bailed today. So we want no bail for Jonathan. No bail.
I'm here to support my nephews that working at Kulubri Ridge. No bail for Jonathan.
Lera was granted bail in the sum of $1 million with other tough bail conditions. Later, the police brought new charges against him for firearm importation and trafficking. He remains in custody at Stock Farm Prison. Former Director of Public Prosecutions Evelina Baptiste died in January. Ms. Baptiste, who served the court here and abroad over several years, died at the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital of heart-related problems. Parliamentary Representative for Roseau South, Shakira Lockhart Hippolyte, a family member, said Ms. Baptiste's passing was a blow for the family and Dominica.
It's a really big loss for the family. My aunt was the first a child of Judith Baptiste and Thomas Baptiste. She meant everything to us. She was our go-to person. She was our lawyer. She was our cook.
The first homicide for the year was a Salisbury man. Siobhan Devon LaRocque received multiple stab wounds following an altercation in Salisbury. Al Kamen Burton was charged with his murder. LaRocque was not the only one who succumbed to injuries in January. Former custom officer Ganeth Jolly was shot dead at Everton Estate in Loubier, where he resided. A Trafalgar man charged 7 years ago with the murder of his brother was reunited with his family in January. Eustace Williams pleaded not guilty with murder, but admitted to manslaughter. Director of Public Prosecutions Shoma Dalrymple said that based on the circumstances and evidence, it was a manslaughter case and not murder. He walked free based on the time served. Police reported that they seized the cocaine with a street value of $26 million. The drug squad unit of the police force led the drug bust operation in Cottage, which resulted in the arrest of a Colombian and Venezuelan. 24-year-old Liam Douglas of Maho died after he encountered difficulties at sea. Police said Douglas was swimming in the sea near the jetty at the time of the incident. He was transported to the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital and admitted to the Alford ward, but succumbed to his injuries later. And Merita Hyacinth, former senior program officer in the Ministry of Education, was appointed Chief Youth Development Officer. In February, Dominica made another breakthrough in air travel when United Airlines announced its inaugural flight from New Jersey into Douglas Strauss Airport. Dominican Peter Codrington was one of the pilots operating the aircraft. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said the flight was more than just a new route. He said it was a major change for Dominica's travel industry, creating new opportunities and breaking down barriers. The Dominica Labour Party launched its 70th anniversary, with leader Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit saying that the party owed a debt of gratitude to its fallen heroes.
From Felician Alfred to Isolo Black to Eole Blanc to Patrick John to Mike Douglas to Rosie Douglas to Pierre Charles. We stand on their shoulders and we will be celebrating these 70 years in recognition of their contribution and the contribution of so many people.
Dr. Gerald Jajac replaced Ambassador Felix Gregoire as Dominica's new ambassador to the OECS and CARICOM. Residents of Sam's Gutter in Marigot protested conditions of their road. The conditions were made worse by heavy trucks from the International Airport project at Wesley, but Parliamentary Representative for Marigot Anthony Charles said protest action came to an end within the hour.
A few concerned citizens in Sam's Gutter, they under the protest action for about an hour. They blocked the road to get the attention of the supervisors and the people in charge for CR5, which the director of MMCE, one of the director, Carl Murad, came and they rectified the situation with the residents, which are going to immediately fix the matter.
21-year-old Tanisha Balson of Fokani, an employee of Central Cooperative Credit Union, was crowned Miss Dominica 2025, with first runner-up being Aliyah Jajac of Canefield. The OECS title went to Dominica's Kiana Dyer, who beat St. Lucia's Tamika Deterville into second place. 14-year-old Gabrielle Esprit of Maho, a student of Convent High School, copped awards for Best in Spectacular Wear Best Evening Wear, and Best Response to Questions to win the Miss Teen Dominica. Second runner-up was Hannah Joseph of the Dominica Grammar School. Danician Newton of Jones Beaupier Primary of La Plaine captured the Carnival Princess title. Fifth form student of Portsmouth Secondary School, Chavez Seaman, Moxie Shervy, retained the Junior Booyah Monarch title. Moxie Shervy sang Elevate to defeat Josiah Fagan, King Zaya of Goodwill Secondary, into second place in the Junior Booyah competition. In the Junior Calypso Monarch competition, the winner was Faith Saintville, Queen Melody of the Dominica Grammar School. She dethroned Tice Faustin, Mighty T of St. Mary's Academy. Shanice won the stardom of the 10th title with a calypso called Experts. She beat Trendsetter into second place. Meanwhile, Bob captured the Showdown Mass Camp champ of the camp. Ladies was in second place. It was also in February a Granby man died as a result of a traffic collision in Goodwill. Sherwin Brown, the driver of a Yamaha T-Max, succumbed to his injuries after he collided with a Honda HR-V driven by Janai John Baptist of Soufriere, who resides at Maho. The collision took place at the junction of Jeffers Lane and Rose Street in Goodwill. Police reported the suicidal death of 56-year-old Gifford Irish at his home in Castle Comfort. He was found hanging from a rope.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners for the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jay's Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.
Easy Max, get your money fast. Join the family. Call and find out now. You want that quick money to meet all of your needs. High speeds and top service. Easy Max Family. Qualify for 7.5 or maybe 10,000. 2.0 is 15 grand. Easy Max, yours and mine.
West Coast Cooperative Credit Union presents the Easy Max Family Loans. Easy Max Plus of $7,500. Easy Max Pro of $10,000. And Easy Max 2.0 of $15,000. Yes, contact us today at 449-6556 or 449-9343 or 295-2682. Terms and conditions apply. West Coast Credit Union, your only credible choice for success.
This Christmas, Flow's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Raisin and coconuts and butter and fruits. You add them to flour and sugar and other secret ingredients. The result, my friends, wonderful raisin slices, coconut tarts and butter flaps, and great tasting butter bread, and fruit cakes and fine cakes, and rough cakes and coconut cakes. This is what Ruben's Bakery presents on a daily basis. That unique ability to tickle your taste buds using Fawin Fonds as a main ingredient. From Fawin Fonds to Lapat to bonbon, to slices and tarts and pain mastiff, and jacquerie and rolls and more. Ruben's Bakery, the bread quarters of Lapat. From this, the bread quarters in Newton, Charlottesville. It is distributed to hungry mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and grannies and all. Sometimes with milk, sometimes with cocoa or cime comptoir. Some like it brown, some like it hard, some like it soft. Some like to soak it in the bread with tea. But the bonbon, oh, the raisin slices and coconut tarts are a new addition to the Ruben's fleet. Listen to El Difa. I have a passion for Ruben's bread and bonbon. Ruben's Bakery, making magic with Lapat all the day long.
Slindi mon la ite petit sel Jezi te connaît c'est Jezi la maman ite ka servi par la porte li ite levé les bon matin because celle li vite ka aller l'école et puis c'est un canpad exercise book 16 pages la vi un standard 5 it appear students companion an atlas and a geometry set Jezi bookstore you many revolution en éducation à Dominica. Yes, too long here you got your educational materials from Jezi. Avec moi ça do surely and positively chaque monde qui graduate chaque monde qui vient docteur nurse avocat n'importe bitin à Dominica Jezi had something to do with it. Jay's need greeting cards, stationery, gift sets and gift items. Aussi pour tout jeune monde, Jay's wants you to know, education is the key that will unlock all your doors.
Disturbances broke out in Dominica as government passed 3 electoral reform bills in Parliament. The Electoral Reform Coalition said prior to the passage of the bills, They would demonstrate outside Parliament to show their disapproval over the bills. The then acting police chief Davidson Valerie warned that any protest action staged outside Parliament would be illegal.
I wish to inform that no permission has been sought from the Chief of Police. Neither has there been any permission granted by the Chief of Police for any protest action. Therefore, any protest action in Dominica on Wednesday, March 19, 2025 is unlawful.
The instructions by the acting police chief did nothing to prevent the heat outside Fortium Hotel. Police barricades were dismantled and clashes between police and protesters took place. Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore condemned the actions of the protesters and said those responsible for the violence would be held accountable.
The perpetrators who are responsible for this mob must be dealt with quickly and swiftly, and they must be held accountable under the relevant law or laws of this country.
Within days, the impasse took a new twist as protesters were being arrested and charged in connection with the March 19 clashes. Among those arrested were former parliamentary representatives Hector John and Danny Luge and Freedom Party Chairman Johnson Boston, Nurse Rosie Felix, Attorney Ronald Charles, and UWP leader Dr. Thompson Fontaine. They were all released on bail. 25 people in all were charged as the police continued their investigation into the disturbances. In March, double murder accused Jonathan Lehrer was denied bail on a firearm trafficking charge. The U.S.-born was charged with firearm trafficking on January 15, and on March 6, his attorneys petitioned the court for bail, arguing that the charge was only brought against him by the prosecution after the High Court granted him bail for the murder charge. Ronaldo Luke reports.
Magistrate Loda emphasized that the court must consider the risk of the accused absconding and the need to preserve public order when deciding on bail. He stated that there were no conditions which a court could impose to guarantee that Lehrer would surrender for the preliminary inquiry on April 22nd, 24th, and 25th, 2025. The magistrate also noted a rise in violent crimes linked to firearm and drug trafficking, posing a serious threat to public safety.
Taxi operator Kelvin Trevor Albert, known as Langsal of Scotshead, was remanded in custody on a charge of murder.
The complaint stated that between March 1st and 9th, 2025, at the corner of Hanover Street and King George V Street in Roseau, Albert murdered Andrew George Pinard, male 69 years of Newtown who resided at Bellevue Road. Reports indicate that a physical altercation between the two men over $20 led to Pinard being admitted to the intensive care unit at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. He later succumbed to his injuries on March 8, 2025.
The former president of the Dominica Hucksters Association, Cecil Joseph, passed away in March. Police investigated two separate murders early in March. Calon Nicholas of Granby was shot dead on March 2. Jefferson Skerritt of Benaravine Canefield was stabbed to death on March 3, and Thaddeus Macpherson Winston was discovered dead in a Jimmet residential area on February 27. A 27-year-old man of Massac died in a road collision. Lindy Madder, the pillion rider of a motorcycle, succumbed to his injuries sustained on Goodwill Road, adjacent to Dewitt Center. Former banker Joy became the second Dominican woman after Tasha P. to win the Calypso Monarch title. Joy was clinical in both rounds in the finals and put the title beyond other contenders with her second composition, The Ground That We're Walking On. Dice, who was in search of an 11th title, was first runner-up. Trendsetter was named Road Match King with DPP. Africulture Stilt Walkers were named Band of the Year. The Police Welfare Association announced it completed successful negotiations with government for salary increase. Deputy leader of the United Workers' Party, Senator Delbert Paris, resigned in April after being elected in December 2024. Senator Paris made headlines in March when he supported certain aspects of the electoral reform bill in Parliament, while his party was protesting the bills outside Parliament. In 2024, Paris challenged Dr. Fontaine for the leadership of the party, but lost. Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore announced the appointment of Lincoln Corbett as acting chief of police and Jeffrey James as acting deputy. The appointments became necessary as acting police chief Davidson Valerie proceeded on pre-retirement leave. Mr. Blackmore said Valerie was outstanding as a police officer.
Let me take this opportunity on behalf of the government of Dominica to thank Mr. Valerie for his extraordinary service to country. Certainly anyone who has served in that capacity, and he served 49 years with distinction and with the highest degree of passion, and we wish him well.
Chief Executive Officer of the International Airport Development Company, Samuel Johnson, announced in April that the project would reach a new phase with the construction of landside facilities. He said this was an exciting stage of the project.
The landside facilities, that includes the buildings that support the airport. So that will be your terminal, your FBO facility, your cargo facility, your hangar for aircraft maintenance, air traffic control, firefighting.
The government of Dominica made good on its promise to Olympic gold medalist Thea Lafour-Gatson. She received the title for a property at Warner. Minister for Housing Melissa Skerritt formally handed over the certificate of title to Mrs. Lafour-Gatson. In April, the country made another giant step towards the development of a medicinal cannabis industry. The inaugural meeting and launch of the National Cannabis Advisory Committee took place at the Roseau Fisheries Complex. Minister for Agriculture Roland Royer said government has shown commitment to the medicinal cannabis industry.
The rapidly evolving landscape of the cannabis industry is both an exciting opportunity and a challenge for the government of Dominica. Hence, the overall objective of the government's focus on cannabis cultivation is to create, through institutional reforms, investment and incentive, an environment which is favorable for farmers and agro-entrepreneurs to develop high-value products.
Former OAS Director in Dominica, Paul Brown, was laid to rest in April. Mr. Brown was the husband of prominent broadcaster, the late Charmaine Green Brown. The Dominica Cancer Society elected a new president. Jacqueline Andre replaced Yvonne Alexander. The Dominica Grammar School team of Renee Talbot and Zadie Trocad beat the Orion Academy to emerge winners of the Inter-Secondary School Debate Competition for 2025. The best speaker was Renee Talbot. In April, 3 members of a St. Joseph family were charged with the murder of a 70-year-old. Ronaldo Luke followed the matter in court.
The complaint of the police alleges that between April 8th and April 10, 2025 in St. Joseph, 20-year-old Jonai Cook of St. Joseph, residing in Bellevue-Chopin, and 19-year-old Jonaya Cook of St. Joseph, murdered 70-year-old Obed Cubal Nicholas. The men's father, 58-year-old Gibbs John, also appeared before Magistrate Michael Loda, charged with the murder of Nicholas.
30-year-old Kimon Emmanuel died as a result of a shooting incident in Roseau. 42-year-old Daniel Nasha Fontaine of Marigot was killed. The mother of 7 children was discovered in a residential area in Marigot. The suspect's home was set on fire after the incident. And the IMF said in April Dominica's economy was projected to grow by 4% in 2025.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners for the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jay's Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.
Islindi mon la ite petit sel Jezi te connaît c'est Jezi la maman ite ka servi par la porte li ite levé les bon matin because celle li vite ka aller l'école et puis c'est un canpad exercise book 16 pages la vi un standard 5 appear students companion an atlas and a geometry set Jezi bookstore you mène une révolution en éducation à Dominica. Yes, tout long année you got your educational materials from Jezi. Avec moi ça do surely and positively chaque monde qui graduate chaque monde qui vient docteur nurse avocat n'importe bitin à Dominica Jezi had something to do with it. Jay's greeting cards, stationery, gift sets and gift items. Aussi pour tout jeune monde, Jay's wants you to know education is the key that will unlock all your doors.
what's your plan for today?
Well, I just want to pass by Esma to pick up my diabetes tablets.
Esmat? But Mama, Esmat selling snacks and groceries, not those men.
No! The new Esmat pharmacy I'm talking about.
Esmat have a pharmacy?
Yes, not too long they open. They have all kinds of medicine there. The price is good. They even testing your pressure for free. And they have drive-through too.
Drive-through pharmacy? Well, I'll check you. We'll pick up your tablets in the Esmat pharmacy drive-through.
Esmart Pharmacy, the new warm and convenient pharmacy in town, located in the Esmart parking lot. Experience care and convenience like never before.
Raisin and coconuts and butter and fruits. You add them to flour and sugar and other secret ingredients. The result, my friends, wonderful raisin slices, coconut tarts and butter flaps, and great tasting butter bread, and fruit cakes and fine cakes, and rough cakes and coconut cakes. This is what Ruben's Bakery presents on a daily basis. That unique ability to tickle your taste buds using Fawin Fonds as a main ingredient. From Fawin Fonds to lapat to bonbon, to slices and tarts and pay mastiff, and jacquerie and rolls and more. Ruben's Bakery, the bread quarters of Lapat. From this, the bread quarters in Newton, Charlottesville, it is distributed to hungry mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and grannies and all. Sometimes with milk, sometimes with cocoa or sime comptoir. Some like it brown, some like it hard, some like it soft. Some like to soak it in the bread with tea. But the bonbon, oh, the raisin slices and coconut tarts are a new addition to the Ruben's fleet. Listen to El Difa. I have a passion for Ruben's bread and bonbon. Ruben's Bakery, making magic with Lapat all the day long.
Our second presenter is Karim Bertrand.
In May, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit announced the appointment of 60 non-established workers from various departments. He said the appointments would enhance the status of the employees.
People working for 23 years, 24 years, 25 years, and not appointed. That limits the ability to contract loans in the financial institutions for them to build their homes and to advance their family. And so what this will do is that it will automatically get them appointed. We'll also take into consideration some of the years that they've served, so it will ensure that when they retire, they can get a gratuity and a pension.
Several contractors in the various communities were engaged, as contracts valued at $5.2 million were signed under the Emergency Agricultural Livelihood and Climate Resilience Project. Among the contracts signed were rehabilitation of the Waitikobuli National Trail and works at the Fonkole Fish Landing Site.
It's indeed a pleasure to be part of today's ceremony, bearing witness to the signing of 11 contracts that will positively impact the lives of many families involved in agriculture, fisheries, and the tourism sectors. These investments, totaling $5.2 million, represents just a portion of the significant effort being made towards the development and modernization of Dominica's agricultural sector.
Seneca Primary School student Kiara John beat 9 others to capture the Felix Henderson Dbs National Reading title. The result was a proud moment for her mother, Royette John.
She's generally a child who is always determined to do things. So initially when they said the other student from our school couldn't participate anymore, she said, okay, well, she would be willing. So she decided that, okay, she wants to do it. So I said, all right, I'm behind her, I'll support her. And so because of her determination, she succeeded.
It was also in May, Dean of the Rosa Cathedral, Father Nigel Karam, issued a stern warning to the country's youth to refrain from taking matters in their hands. His statement came during the funeral mass of Kimon Emmanuel of Goodwill, who succumbed through gun violence.
Do not go and enter into the spiral of violence and revenge. Revenge is not the answer. Revenge will never be the answer, because all it causes is more death and more grief and more violence and more death and more grief and more violence.
It was also in May that Director of Public Prosecutions Sherma Dalrymple discontinued a matter against 2 brothers who were charged with murder.
Chassery Thomas and Gary Thomas were jointly indicted for the murder of Stockley Antoine, also of Petit Savan. It is alleged that on September 26, 2021, at Ravenshall, Petit Savan, the 2 men inflicted stab wounds on the 41-year-old, resulting in his death. Attorney Joshua Francis, who has represented the accused men since the beginning of the case, consistently argued that the incident was one of self-defense. Both men had pleaded not guilty to the indictment during their arraignment, and the matter was set for trial. However, on the day scheduled for the commencement of the trial, the prosecution informed the court of a notice of discontinuance filed by the DPP, effectively bringing the proceedings to a close.
And the 28-year-old of Belfast, Maho, was remanded after being charged with multiple criminal offences, including murder.
Duran Sebastian appeared before the chief magistrate, formally charged with the murder of 30-year-old Iman Kimon Benjamin Emmanuel. According to the complaint, the incident allegedly occurred on April 27, 2025 in Roseau. Sebastian was also charged with the attempted murder of Cheyenne Sabroch, stemming from the same incident. Police previously reported that on April 27th, both Emmanuel and Sabroch were shot in Roseau in an area commonly referred to as Washington Block. Emmanuel succumbed to his injuries while Sabroch was hospitalized.
In June, 12-year-old St. Martin Primary School student Amelia Stephen of Newtown was declared the outstanding student of the Grade 6 National Assessment.
So we have Amelia A.K. Stevens, St. Martin Primary. We have Peyton N.M. Healy, Petit Savan. Kasnaya Kazimi, Newtown Primary. Hinaya Riviere, St. John's Academy, and Eliana Girodel, St. Martin's Primary.
It was also in June that Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit announced that education reform among primary schools would get underway. The government of Dominica held a series of consultations at the State House Conference Center with education stakeholders where education reform was discussed.
But the system that we have was tailored for a particular point in time. That point in time has long gone. And if you realize this is not a Dominica specific challenge or concern, it is a regional and indeed an international challenge where countries are talking about reforming the system to making it more responsive and adapting it to the present challenges of the world.
As education reform was being discussed in Dominica, electoral reform entered a new phase with the signing of a $3.4 million agreement with a company from Belgium. The agreement was signed between the Electoral Commission and Simlex Company for the provision of a voter identification system and software to facilitate the process of voter confirmation.
The electoral registration and confirmation system developed by Simlex is designed to ensure the integrity and inclusivity of the electoral process. It involves the deployment of mobile registration kits to reach remote and unserved populations, thereby promoting the voter empowerment.
It was also in June that former parliamentary representative for Salisbury, Hector John, was appointed new deputy leader of the UWP. He replaced Senator Delbert Paris, who resigned. Former Minister for Agriculture, Thomas Etienne, died in June. He served as Minister for Agriculture in 1970. He was accorded an official funeral. A police officer was granted bail in the sum of $30,000 after he was charged with drug possession and trafficking. Daryl Etienne of Point Carib pleaded not guilty. 35-year-old Skeethy Abraham of St. Joseph was discovered dead near the beach in Mero. A Fauncolly man, Norman Ronald, charged with the December 3, 2018 murder of Haitian national Melanie Dijon at the Roseau Market, was found guilty. In July, Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre presented a $1.2 billion budget to Parliament. The package contained measures to address the cost of living. He said the government would take a decision to remove the value-added tax and custom duties on several goods. He said government would move forward to implement the minimum wage, and public officers and police would have access to a new loan facility for home ownership. Dominicans reacted to the budget presentation.
Well, I think it's a wonderful budget. Agriculture, especially our farmers, are going to be very excited. All the port development that is coming through, the marina, the international airport.
Well, I believe that the Minister of Finance delivered a comprehensive
address, touching on all of the important segments of the economy.
Very, very happy with some of the utterance of the Minister of Finance in his pronouncement in the budget, the additional support that is pledged for waste management.
You know, well put together. I think there is something in it for everybody, for the public officers and the police and the nurses. These people are very, very important people within our own economic development. And I was very happy to hear about the measures.
A 1-month gun amnesty took effect in July. Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, encouraged users of illegal firearms to surrender these weapons, and they would not be charged. In July, leader of the United Workers' Party, Dr. Thompson Fontaine, confirmed the resignation of the party's president, Lennox Linton. The resignation came 3 months after Senator Delbert Paris stepped down as deputy leader. 6 cultural stalwarts were bestowed with the Golden Drum Award, Dominica's highest cultural award. Anita Bully, Davidson Victor, Philbert Mighty Robin Aline, Pierre Charles Secondary School, Mervyn Alexander, and Elmore Bridget Royer. Former president of the Dominica Calypso Association, Davidson Victor, dedicated the award to Calypsonians.
And I received that award with gratitude. I don't receive that award just for me. I received that award on behalf of Calypso and all Calypsonians, those who came before me and set the platform, those who are there presently, and those who will be coming.
Distinguished businessman, the late Gerald Gary Ed, was accorded an official funeral. Mr. Ed, the former managing director of HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, was a highly respected businessman who helped advance Dominica's private sector, particularly in tourism, and served in many institutions and organizations. Former coordinator of the Social Center, Norma Cyril, passed in July. She dedicated 44 years to the Social Center until her retirement in 2024. Chairman of the Dominica Festival Committee, Gerald Kuzlatig, said he was saddened by the passing of former executive director of the DFC, Jeffrey Brisbane. Mr. Brisbane passed in the US. And 48-year-old Norman Ronald of Fonkole was sentenced to 38 years in jail for the fatal stabbing of Haitian national Melanie Dejean on December 31st, 2018 at the Roseau Market.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners for the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jace Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.
For all your shopping needs at the best prices in Dominica, shop at S-Mart. Shop smart at S-Mart.
Shop smart at S-Mart. Can you get me some Lotto?
For my favorite
Shop smart at S-Mart.
I got a top-up flow and digital.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
Sunday to Sunday.
Open on holidays.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
So much fresh fruit and produce.
Good quality service. Hey. Unlimited parking. Hey. All the best products at S-Mart. You get the best prices.
Hey. Shop smart at S-Mart.
Leo flush ukapon lode ya overflow. Ha my friend bakiti lulu debode asu. Ila ini badman as a spade uni etwanji ka visite kayu. So come to Luxurious Luz asu Cornwall Street close to the vet. Telephone 448-2410 or 276-4289 and they will empty your septic tank for you. Non septic tank se parlant mais apon tan ike plein kodi Fatima espèce uni femme maya kayu. Of course Luxurious Luz provide portable toilets for public activities too. But what is extraordinary about them is that they are health conscious, environmentally friendly. C'est pas qu'on ugly will likini bagaya sous tête li ka jeti bod la mais all their waste is emptied at the Dowasco outlet. Call 82401-276-4289. This live unipo number 2 say yoki number 1 in the lumber 2 business.
Wow, a new laptop.
Yep.
How much you pay?
Only $10. This Christmas, sign up for any home bundle or the Turbo 400 internet plan or higher and get a laptop or tablet for only $10. And there's more. You can win even more festive prizes with our Christmas Spin the Wheel. That's faster, more reliable internet with same upload and download speeds and fantastic rewards. Sign up in-store today or visit online at discoverflow.co for more info. We keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Easy Max. Get your money fast, join the family, call and find out now.
You want that quick money to meet all of your needs. High speeds and top service. Easy Max Family. Qualify for 7.5 or maybe 10,000. 2.0 is 15 grand. Easy Max, yours and mine.
West Coast Cooperative Credit Union presents the Easy Max Family Loans. Easy Max Plus of $7,500. Easy Max Pro of $10,000 and Easy Max 2.0 of $15,000. Yes, contact us today at 449-6556 or 449-9343 or 295-2682. Terms and conditions apply. West Coast Credit Union, your only credible choice for success.
In August, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit announced the appointment of former government minister Lorraine Bannis Roberts as Dominica's new High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. Previously, Bannis Roberts resigned her position as Dominica's permanent representative to the UN following controversy over her signing of a diplomatic agreement with Syria. Prime Minister Skerrit expressed optimism in Bannis' skills to effectively represent Dominica.
Mrs. Bannis Roberts brings a wealth of experience and distinguished service to this important diplomatic role. From 2016 to 2022, she served as Dominica's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York, where she represented Dominica's interests at the highest levels of international diplomacy.
In August, the main trade unions, Public Service Union, Dominica Association of Teachers, and Police Welfare Association all announced that they concluded salary increase negotiations with government. The Police Welfare Association said salary increase of 8% over 3 years was negotiated.
We concluded negotiations with government and we agreed for an 8% salary increase. I can say that government has honored its obligations to the membership of the Police Welfare Association so far. Also, I must make mention of the $250 risk allowance that is paid to several sections within the police force.
It was also in August that Caribbean Airlines made its inaugural flight from San Juan, Puerto Rico into Dominica.
We can now connect through San Juan on Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays without the hassle of clearing immigration and customs twice.
16-year-old Academics School of Learning student Kennelly Barron made Dominica proud when she passed all 19 subjects in the 2026 CSEC and CAPE exams. Local CXC Registrar Magali Celestin said the feat achieved by Kennelly Barron is worth celebrating.
She registered for 14 CSEC subjects and 5 CAPE units, a total of 19 CXC subjects. In 2025, she obtained grade 1s in 13 CSEC subjects with 1 grade 2, a grade 1 in CAPE Information Technology Unit 1, and grade 2s in Biology Unit 1, Chemistry Unit 1, Physics Unit 1, and Computer Science Unit 1. Congratulations to the parents, the teachers, and the support group of our 16-year-old star.
The star of the 2025 CXC exam said she was humbled by the achievement.
Honestly, I just feel very grateful, elated, proud, and humbled by this achievement because it really was a lot of hard work, and all of the late nights, it made this moment very worthwhile.
As the 16-year-old Kennelly Barron celebrated her triumph at the exams, a 16-year-old student of Convent High School, Natisha Marie Danica Paul of Grand Bay, died. She was transported to the Grand Bay Health Center, where she was pronounced dead. The community of Pennville was plunged into shock after a vehicular accident left 2 people, including the driver, Davis Marcellet, DJ Blazer, dead. The police confirmed that 3 people were traveling in a northerly direction along the Tebow to Vacas Road when the vehicle went off the road over a cliff and plunged into a precipice. The driver and his girlfriend, Nadia Paul of Dodan, succumbed to their injuries. Double murder accused Jonathan Leher and Robert Snyder were committed to stand trial at the High Court for the murder of Eco Resort owners Daniel Langlois and his partner Dominique Marchand. The 2 U.S. nationals were accused of killing the Canadian couple between November 29, 2023 and December 2, 2023 at Bois Côtelet in Soufrière. Former Director General of the Dominica Red Cross, Kathleen Pinard-Byrne, said she felt vindicated after being awarded $75,000 by the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court for defamation. She went to court 7 years ago against former Acting Director General of the Red Cross, Jamaican Jaislyn Salmon, and the Dominica Red Cross.
After 7 years in the system, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court ruled in my favor and awarded me $75,000 EC in general damages for defamation of character. This judgment also includes interest and legal costs to be paid. After 7 years, I view this judgment as justice served.
As a gun amnesty continued in the month of August, Pastor Griffin Daniel called on Dominicans to participate in the gun amnesty. His comments came during the funeral service of Jean-Yves Alex Bruno, who was gunned down near the Bath Estate Bridge as he waited to be transported to work in the Roseau Valley.
Let me just take this opportunity to ask you, those who know someone or you know yourself, bring it back. And as a result of somebody not obeying, we are here today to put the remains of this young man, putting him to rest. It is something Jaive never saw coming. And if Jaive had seen it coming, he would not go to work.
Two St. Lucians, Michael Carlos Leo and Christian Mariel, walked free after they were charged in connection with the 2024 stabbing death of Jones Branca of Kingshill. Attorney Tiani Bihanzin said a special application was made for the matter to be heard at the High Court, and Justice Colin Williams ruled on the matter, citing weak evidence by one of the main witnesses. Hesketh Francis of Portersville died in a road traffic collision on Elliott Avenue. The 45th annual conference of the Caribbean Association of Pharmacists took place in Dominica in August. Kelvin Dragon of Grenada was named Caribbean Pharmacist of the Year. The 50th Association of Caribbean Commandants Conference took place in Dominica under the theme Empowering Our Youth. Dominica's construction industry reached new levels with the launch of a new concrete block manufacturing plant at Canefield. The project, an initiative of Prime Developers Limited, is owned by P.H. Williams and Company Limited.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners for the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jace Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Smart.
Le ou flush ou kapon lode ya overflow. Ha, my friend, bakite loulou deborde ya sou. E la ni badman as espè la ou ni étranger ka visite kayou. So come to Luxurious Luz à sou Cornwall Street close to the vet. Telephone 448-2410 or 276-4289 and they will empty your septic tank for you. Non, septic tank se pa lan mais apon tan yi ke plein. Kodi Fatima, espè sou ni fam ya kayou. Of course, Luxurious Luz provide portable toilets for public activities too. But what is extraordinary about them is that they are health conscious, environmentally friendly. C'est pas qu'on ogli wi likini bagaya sous tête li ka jeti bod la mais all their waste is emptied at the Dowasco outlet. Call 82401-276-4289. This live unipo number 2 say yoki number 1 in the lumber 2 business.
This Christmas, Flow is making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Islin di mon la ite piti sel Jezi te konet se Jezi la mama ite ka sevi an par la porte li la ite leve li bon matin. Because sel li vite ka ale l'école epi se yon kanpad exercise book 16 pages. La vi un standard 5 it appear students companion an atlas and a geometry set. Jezi bookstore yo mene yon revolution en éducation à Dominica. Yes, tout long nan you got your educational materials from Jezi. Eve mon sa do surely and positively. Chaque moun ki graduate, chaque moun ki vin yon doctor, nurse, avocat, n'importe bitin à Dominica, Jezi had something to do with it. Jay's ni greeting cards, stationery, gift sets and gift items. Aussi pour tout jeune monde, Jay's wants you to know education is the key that will unlock all your doors.
This Christmas, bring home the joy with NBD.
apply for an NBD credit card or personal loan, and you could be one of our lucky winners in a special Christmas shopping spree. Celebrate the season with friends and family. Shop for your holiday favorites and make this Christmas truly magical. Make your season brighter. Visit any NBD branch today. For more information, go to nbddominica.com or call 767-255-2300. Hurry! This festive offer ends January 9th, 2026. Don't miss your chance to bring home the joy. Terms and conditions apply.
Our third and final presenter is Trudy Christian.
In September, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit confirmed the presence of the regional security system in Dominica as a spate of gun violence led to some homicides.
On advice of the Chief of Police, the Minister of National Security has invited the RSS to join the police in our efforts towards eradicating the presence of illegal firearms in the country. We have to do something about this.
Among the homicides in September was Dwight Maxime, who was shot at Portsmouth. 27-year-old Lee Joshua Leslie of Grand Bay was shot dead. A Maho man, Fabian John, appeared before a St. Joseph magistrate after being charged with the murder of his brother.
According to the complaint of the police, it is alleged that between August 28, 2025 to August 31, 2025, 38-year-old Fabian John did murder his brother, 40-year-old Daniel Kelvin John at Maho. According to police reports, on August 28th, Daniel sustained a stab wound to his upper body.
23-year-old Dewani Dravid Loda of Coolibistry died in a motor vehicular accident. Dravid was driving alone from Portsmouth to Coolibistry when he ran off the road. Delroy Lee of Marigot succumbed to the injuries he sustained from stab wounds. 24-year-old Joanne Warner of Glanvilla was discovered dead from gunshot wounds in a porch of an apartment building. A police officer, Anthony Francis of Antrizal, was remanded into custody after being charged for theft of 122 rounds of ammunition and 286 grams of cocaine from the police force. The media fraternity mourned the death of former veteran broadcaster Ted Daly. Ted Daly, who worked at DBS for over 4 decades, passed in St. Croix at the age of 76. Ambassador Leroy Waddix Charles said the late Ted Daly was a formidable DJ who impacted broadcasting in Dominica.
Dominica has lost an icon, a legend, a giant of a DJ broadcaster on the heels of losing Felix Anderson, Sherman Green Brown, Mikey Brody, Ferdinand Frampton, Ferdinand Frampton, Ken Richards, Kurt Matthew and others whose blood and sweat are mortared into the foundation of national broadcasting.
It was in September that Earlson Matthew was confirmed as Chief Cultural Officer 4 years after he was appointed to act in the position. The introduction of Night Court was announced in September. Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore said Night Court would address a backlog in the court system.
It is not something that is new. We had Night Court before, that was tried before. My instruction was to ensure that all the players who are actually consulted. And I believe that the time is now. There shall be Night Court commencing on the 8th of September.
Booyah artist Mr. Ridge was named Booyah Artist of the Year at the Caribbean Music Awards in New York. Calypso was in the news in September when the entire executive of the Dominica Calypso Association was forced to resign. Their re-election was challenged by a group of Calypsonians who stated that their re-election in September was null and void since the stipulated 2 terms in office expired. Joey Lloyd, the only executive member who served for 1 term, remained as caretaker to pave the way for new elections. President of Dominica, Her Excellency Silvani Burton, was honored with the Global Inspirational Leadership Award and inducted into the Global Power Women Network in New York. She addressed world leaders at the 80th session of the UN General Assembly and condemned acts of violence within the Caribbean, saying there is no place for war in the region.
There is no place in the Caribbean for war. The Caribbean is a zone of peace. Any military conflict in the Caribbean will have significant negative impacts on the Caribbean and Latin America. There is a better way to resolve differences.
And Contour Airlines launched its first non-stop flight from St. Thomas into Dominica. 57-year-old Anne Luke of Maho, popularly known as Kubuli Lady, became Dominica's new millionaire. She was presented with her Super 6 jackpot earnings of $1.19 million by the Dominica National Lottery.
Today, I am proud to announce that Mrs. Anne Luke of Maho is our Super 6 millionaire winner. She played her ticket, and not only on the night of the draw, which is August 2nd, she played her ticket on July 30th. That was before the actual draw day. She played at Minias Company in Kingsfield. Congratulations to Minias. And she played the combo method.
And Dominican Kamisha Richards was appointed regional manager of CBN Dominica and St. Lucia National Lotteries. The voter confirmation process took effect in Dominica in October. The process is one of the components of electoral reform. Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Duncan Stowe, said after major challenges along the way, Dominica was ready to implement the voter confirmation process.
It has not been without challenges, but progress has been steady and determined. Today, we announce that we are ready to begin the confirmation process from October 15th, 2025.
The first ever sperm whale reserve off the island's west coast. The Sperm Whale Reserve Bill passed in Parliament made provision for an area to protect the sperm whales from certain threats.
It formally establishes Dominica's Sperm Whale Reserve and lays the legislative foundation for its effective governance, stewardship, and protection. This bill is a clear demonstration of Dominica's unwavering commitment to the long-term sustainability of our resident sperm whale population.
A student of the Dominica Grammar School emerged winner of the second annual DBS Radio Independence Creole Speech Competition.
In the second position from the Convent High School, Trinity Myers.
Okay, the winner of this year's DBS Radio Creole Speech Competition is none other from the Dominica Grammar School with 115 points, Lydia Charles.
Dominica's beekeepers dominated and proved their excellence on the regional stage by winning an impressive 10 awards at the 2025 OECS Honey Show in St. Kitts. Nathaniel Lovell led Dominica's charge, and Terry Henry Lovell gave a good account of herself. Chairman of the Comité pour Études Creole, Raymond Lawrence, called for a government subvention to advance the work of the committee. His call came at the National Consultation for the Creole Language, organized by Creole Heartbeat. The event brought a number of presenters from here and abroad. Four-time Calypso monarch Gregory Caressa Riviere was elected president of the Dominica Calypso Association. But 3 days after the election, Joey Lloyd resigned as treasurer, citing difficulties working with at least one member of the new executive. Former government minister and distinguished businessman Julius Timothy died after a lengthy battle with illness. He was a founding member of the United Workers' Party and a deputy leader. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt said the late Julius Timothy served Dominica with distinction. 22-year-old small business owner Zebediah Maxwell of Taru was crowned Miss Wobduyet. She took awards for Best Performing Talent, Best in Wobduyet and Miss Photogenic to win the title among 6 competitors at the Massac Indoor Facility. The first runner-up was Nia Massicot of Paybush and Kinaje Felix of Girardel Eggleston third. In the Madame Wobduyet, hairdresser Evelina Blanc of Grand Bay and Maho beat Angelica Gasper of Cassabruce and Virginia Menz of Loubier and Point Michel to take the title. The police reported its biggest drug bust ever, 1,700 kilos of cocaine with a street value of $46 million.
To receive 1,730 kilos of cocaine with a street value estimated of $46,760,000. $46,764,000. The largest hold license ever in Dominica.
A 9-member jury was directed to return a guilty verdict against the Cochrane man Giovanni Benoit Garaway for causing the death of 10-year-old Natalia Matthew at Bath Estate through dangerous driving in 2018. On the third day of the trial, Garaway changed his plea to guilty, and the 28-year-old of Wesley, Jamal Robin, was charged with murder in October.
The complaint stated that Robin of Joburton Wesley on September 27, 2025 at Eden Road, Pauper Wesley, did murder Delroy Lee of Marigot. Police reports indicate that on the evening of September 27, Robin allegedly inflicted a fatal stab wound on Lee, who was later pronounced dead.
And history was created in Dominica in October as the first ever trade union congress was born. The Dominica Public Service Union, Waterfront and Allied Workers Union, Dominica Amalgamated Workers Union, and Dominica Association of Teachers formed the first ever trade union congress. And Discover Dominica Authority recorded record crowds for the 25th edition of the World Creole Music Festival. Vibes Cartel, Cassav, Spice, Steel Pulse, Burning Flames, and Kess the Band were among the powerful overseas acts for the festival. In November, 2 former prime ministers received Dominica's highest national award, the Dominica Award of Honor, posthumously at the National Day Parade. The late Rosie Douglas and Pierre Charles were awarded in recognition of their outstanding contributions to national development. Chief Executive Officer of the International Airport Development Company, Samuel Johnson, religious leader Reverend J. Evans Dodds, and medical doctor Basil Fadipe received the second highest national award, the Cicero Award of Honor. The late Julius Timothy, a former government minister, distinguished businessman and sportsman, was laid to rest after being accorded an official funeral. Students and staff of Pierre Charles Secondary School mourned the death of Assistant Principal Claudia Toussaint. Miss Toussaint collapsed at school before being pronounced dead at the Grand Bay Health Center. Another teacher was in the news in November. John Christopher of Penville was acquitted of causing the death of 68-year-old Joan Avis Robinson through dangerous driving. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt defended the Citizenship by Investment program as 37-room Ocean Oasis Hotel opened its doors at Castle Comfort. He said Ocean Oasis is an example of the benefits from the Citizenship by Investment program.
I want to take this moment to remind everyone that the CBI program, which helped make this project a reality, remains one of the most successful tools for financing development in small states like ours.
Housing relief became a reality for 69 families under the World Bank and Government of Dominica funded Housing Recovery Program. The presentation ceremony took place at the Windsor Park Stadium.
Their need for a better life must stay at the center of our work. So I say to those who are not receiving homes today, don't be dismayed. Those who have not yet gotten, because blessings move in seasons. So today it's theirs and tomorrow it's yours.
The Dominica Parliament passed a motion to exempt the value-added tax on 26 items. Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre said this was part of measures aimed at reducing the financial burden on consumers. Tourism Minister Dennis Charles Pemberton announced the appointment of Ambassador Benoit Badwill to the International Maritime Organization. JCI Dominica secured the prestigious Best Local Global Goals Project Award at the 2025 JCI World Congress in Tunisia for its flagship initiative, Read With Me. The Cultural Division presented the Lifetime Achievement Award to Alexander Chesterfield Seraphin of Good Hope. 9-year-old Noah Stephen of Flamboyant Cultural Group of Dubla took the Young Artist Award during the Cultural Gala. The police said the war on drugs would continue as they destroyed drugs with a street value of $53.3 million during an exercise in Mont Bruce. The police also said Police Week was highly successful. The event climaxed with awards for 37 outstanding officers. In December, Dominicans here and abroad were stunned as the United States President announced a proclamation which made provision for restricting travel to the U.S. for Dominicans and Antiguans. The travel restrictions came as a result of concerns over the CBI program. But Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said the restrictions would not affect Dominicans who are already holders of valid U.S. visas.
At this time, the proclamation itself has not been formally withdrawn or suspended. There is no specified suspension period at this stage. Discussions are ongoing, and the government continues to engage U.S. authorities with the objective of reversing all restrictions affecting Dominican nationals. The first formal review will take place 90 days after January 1st, 2026. The government has received confirmation that Dominican nationals who hold valid U.S. visas, including tourists, business, students, and other categories, may continue to travel to the United States and its territories as is customary, subject to standard U.S. immigration laws and entry requirements.
Dominica introduced a new minimum wage in December for the first time since 2021. The Dominica Employers Federation said the new wage would be a burden for some business places, but government stated that the time had come for employees in the lower strata of society to be rewarded. In December, Minister for Tourism Dennis Charles Pemberton weighed in on an announcement by National Geographic that Dominica would be named one of the best places to visit in 2026.
Dominica being named by National Geographic as one of the best places to visit in 2026 is a proud moment for our country. It affirms the deliberate work of the government of Dominica to protect our natural assets while building a strong, sustainable tourism sector.
However, new site fees introduced for the tourism sector were criticized by the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association and other stakeholders. They said the fees would impact the sector in a negative manner. Salisbury farmer Stephen John Jules was named Farmer of the Year by the Ministry of Agriculture. Shane de Gallery was named Fisher of the Year. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and Attorney General Levi Peter were among persons in public life recognized by the Integrity Commission for compliance under the Integrity in Public Office Act. The awards ceremony marked World Anti-Corruption Day. Former Prime Minister Edison James said a recent court ruling in his favor against Magistrate Michael Loda was a vindication of his constitutional rights. Mr. James had challenged the magistrate's decision as he was confined to a holding cell at the court when he appeared for a matter.
I was correct that my constitutional rights not to be denied my freedom was breached by the magistrate Loda. In the process, she awarded damages against the Attorney General because we sued Mr. Loda in his personal capacity, and the Attorney General as the employer of Mr. Loda. And so the judge awarded damages and costs.
The communities of Kingshill and Newtown were plunged into mourning as 43-year-old Ken Joseph died in an accident in the vicinity of Oasis Hotel. The motorcycle he operated collided with a Subaru XV. He was pronounced dead at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. The pillion rider suffered severe injuries. 2 men were shot dead in Savanpai, an incident which created a cloud of sadness over the peaceful community.
Investigation thus far revealed that Bernal Benjamin and Andrew Daniel, both of Cottage, succumbed to apparent gunshot injuries. A third individual, Imon Sablon of Savanpai, also sustained non-life-threatening injuries. This careless use of firearms ought not to continue, and the police will spare no effort in bringing the perpetrators to justice.
21-year-old Casey Cadet of Casabruce was granted bail in the sum of $35,000 for causing the death of 43-year-old Hesketh Francis by dangerous driving at Pottersville.
According to police reports, about 7:30 a.m. on August 9th, Francis, who was a resident of Pottersville, was walking on the western side of the road in a northerly direction when he was struck by the left front of the vehicle, which was also headed in the same direction. During Cadet's hearing, the prosecution had no objection to bail.
The United Workers' Party re-elected Dr. Thompson Fontaine as its leader. Dr. Fontaine beat Pastor Randy Rodney 83-75 in the leadership race. But he said there was infighting within the party and accused some of not cooperating in efforts to build the party.
Let us combine our efforts. Stop seeing faults or the many faults in your leader, and let us stand together. Let us resolve our differences, but let us do it together. It is not acceptable that you sit on the sidelines hoping that I fail as a leader. That's not acceptable.
The police reported in December that for 2025 they seized drugs with a street value of $46 million, and the Dominica Calypso Association announced it would increase the prize money for the monarch from $20,000 to $25,000. 29-year-old Jervy Mason of St. Joseph, who resided at Shawford, was shot dead at Upper Bath Estate, and a traffic road collision in Lale Granby left 27-year-old Emmanuel Eli dead. Eli was traveling north on a motorcycle when he hit the verge of the road at an intersection, and upon impact he was catapulted off the bike and fell to the ground. He succumbed to the injuries he sustained. He was pronounced dead at about 9:45 p.m. on Christmas Day. And police reported the 22nd homicide in 2025 as 40-year-old Donaldson Wallace of Woodford Hill was alleged to have been stabbed to death at Hilltop in Marigot. The police claim that the suspect was a known mental patient.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners for the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jace Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Smart.
Easy Max, get your money fast. Join the family. Call and find out now. You want that quick money to meet all of your needs. High speeds and top service. Easy Max family. Qualify for 7.5 or maybe 10,000. 2.0 is 15 grand. Easy Max, yours and mine.
West Coast Cooperative Credit Union presents the Easy Max Family Loans. Easy Max Plus of $7,500. Easy Max Pro of $10,000 and Easy Max 2.0 of $15,000. Yes, contact us today at 449-6556 or 449-9343 or 295-2682. Terms and conditions apply. West Coast Credit Union, your only credible choice for success.
This Christmas, bring home the joy with NBD. Apply for an NBD credit card or personal loan, and you could be one of our lucky winners in a special Christmas shopping spree. Celebrate the season with friends and family. Shop for your holiday favorites and make this Christmas truly magical. Make your season brighter. Visit any NBD branch today. For more information, go to nbddominica.com or call 767-255-2300. Hurry! This festive offer ends January 9th, 2026. Don't miss your chance to bring home the joy. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, Mama. What's your plan for today?
Well, I just want to pass by S-Mart to pick up my diabetes tablets.
S-Mart? But Mama, S-Mart selling snacks and groceries, not those men.
No! The new S-Mart pharmacy I'm talking about.
S-Mart have a pharmacy?
Yes, not too long they open. They have all kinds of medicine there. The price is good. They even testing your pressure for free. And they have drive-through too.
Drive-through pharmacy? Well, I'll check you. We'll pick up your tablets in the S-Mart Pharmacy drive-through.
S-Mart Pharmacy, the new, warm, and convenient pharmacy in town. Located in the S-Mart parking lot. Experience care and convenience like never before.
Raisin and coconuts and butter and fruits. You add them to flour and sugar and other secret ingredients. The result, my friends, wonderful raisin slices, coconut tarts and butter flaps, and great tasting butter bread, and fruit cakes and fine cakes, and rough cakes and coconut cakes. This is what Ruben's Bakery presents on a daily basis. That unique ability to tickle your taste buds using fawinfons as a main ingredient. From fawinfons to lapat to bonbon, to slices and tarts and pain mastiff, and jacquerie and rolls and more. Ruben's Bakery, the bread quarters of Lapat. From this, the bread quarters in Newton, Charlottesville. It is distributed to hungry mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and grannies and all. Sometimes with milk, sometimes with cocoa or cime cotois. Some like it brown, some like it hard, some like it soft. Some like to soak it in the bread with tea. But the bonbon, oh, the raisin slices and coconut tarts are a new addition to the Ruben's fleet. Listen to El Difa. I have a passion for Ruben's bread and bonbon. Ruben's Bakery, making magic with Lapat all the day long.
Dominica in 2025 was written by Curtis Matthew. Producer of the program was Lila Langford. We thank our presenters, Tirella Alexander, Karim Bertrand, and Trudy Christian. We thank all our sponsors and the newsmakers in Dominica for your cooperation throughout the year. DBS News expects to collaborate with you in 2026. Dominica in 2025 was brought to listeners through the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, National Bank of Dominica, Jay's Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.